I will try to summarize the story so it won't take too long. When I was studying for my bachelor's degree, criminal justice and psychology, I had applied for internship position with the FBI, and this would be around 1997, 1998. And they never responded to me, and except that they were interested in my linguistic abilities because I spoke Turkish and Farsi. And then I didn't hear back from them, and I was contacted around September 11, 2001, and they said they had obtained top secret clearance for me, and they needed my services for translation in Turkish and Farsi. And they wanted me to start immediately, and because I couldn't work full-time, I took the contractor's position with the FBI for translation of those languages, and to a certain degree Azerbaijani.
And so, can you describe what your job was with the FBI, and aside from translating those languages?
I assisted special agents, both the primary supervisory special agents in Washington, D.C. field office, but also special agents in charge of various counterintelligence and counterterrorism investigations around the country, and those were different FBI field offices.
Okay. Now, when you refer to counterintelligence operations, can you just tell us what that means?
Counterintelligence operations in the FBI had to do with collecting information, monitoring particular target foreign entities in the United States.
And just to, I'm probably oversimplifying it, but it's sort of a matter of public record that the FBI may have people who listen to telephone conversations, other types of intercepted conversations that are in foreign languages, and they have translators who translate those. Correct?
Information could have been both conversational audio, but also documents, written documents, or in certain cases, direct surveillance.
And for the record, I'd just like to note that I've asked the witness to limit her responses only to the information that she believes to be publicly available, or she's learned from sources outside of her employment. I just wanted that on the record.
Okay, and I appreciate that. And I have had in the past the chance to work with intelligence officers in these kinds of cases, and I realize that you can't get into sources and methods and so forth. And if I'm straying into that area in any way, just let me know and I'll back off. It is a matter of public record, however, that our government, through the FBI, primarily does do counterintelligence work with respect to foreign nationals and foreign organizations, correct?
Correct.
And those would include Turkish organizations?
Correct.
And my understanding is that you were terminated by the FBI, or at least your contract was terminated in, is it March or April of 2002?
April 2002, correct.
And so from September of 2001 until April of 2002, you were engaged in this activity of listening to and translating documents and conversational audio, correct?
Correct.
Again, these were materials that were related to counterintelligence operations, correct?
Not limited to counterintelligence. Some of them cross-border criminal related investigations, and also I also translated for counterterrorism division.
Okay. So all three of those?
Correct.
Okay. Now, and I take it that you were translating, obviously, the languages that you were fluent in, correct? Turkish, Farsi.
Although initially I performed translation for all three languages, but within a few weeks, because of the need in the FBI, urgent need, I was placed primarily on Turkish, and that became my main language that I used to work for the FBI.
So, again, I know it sounds elementary, but just by way of background, you were translating documents and conversations that were created by and spoken by people who spoke Turkish, correct?
Correct. But because the targets could also speak English, and this couldn't have been known to the FBI agents until I first went through the information. I also had to transcribe and make notes of pertinent pieces of conversation in English also. So I had to listen to a lot of English conversation and notify my bosses in the FBI of the ones that were important.
Okay. Now, let me jump ahead to April of 2002. And you said your contract was terminated by the FBI. Can you tell us why that happened?
After I was hired by the FBI in September 2001, about a month or so later, FBI hired another language specialist for a Turkish division in the FBI's Washington field office. And a few weeks after this person, Melek Can Dickerson, M-E-L-E-K, middle name C-A-N, last name Dickerson, D-I-C-K-E-R-S-O-N, and she also had top security clearance. My main primary agent for Turkish counterintelligence and we, through various evidence and incidents, became aware that she had worked for certain Turkish organizations and entities that were directly the targets of FBI counterintelligence investigations, and that she had lied in her application, and that for unknown reasons to us, I don't know why, the FBI security background check had not caught that important information despite even her tax filing records. And not only that, Melek Can Dickerson and her husband, at the time he was a major with the Defense Intelligence Agency, Major Douglas Dickerson, and he was working for Douglas Fike's office and was a coordinator with the State Department on the Turkic republics in Central Asia. Both husband and wife, Melek Can Dickerson and her husband, they were still associating and had working relationships with these Turkish entities, individuals, and organizations that were the targets of FBI investigations. As we started reporting this to our superiors, initially there was a panic in the department, but as it went up further to the headquarters, this is the FBI headquarters, the FBI headquarters started retaliating against me, and eventually they terminated my contractor. And there is an Inspector General's report available publicly that came out, I believe, in 2005, that confirmed all my allegation and the fact that FBI fired me simply due to my activities in whistleblowing in making this known to the FBI and later to the Congress, and that the evidence on the translator in question was supported by other witnesses from the FBI and documents. So that's a public documents report.
Right. There's an unclassified version of that report which has been made public, correct?
Correct.
And that report basically substantiated the allegations that you were making regarding Ms. Dickerson.
Correct.
And the concerns that you had regarding Ms. Dickerson pertain to espionage, really, right?
Correct.
And that was in part because of the fact that she was associated with these, and she and her husband were associated with these targets of counterintelligence operations.
Correct.
Who were Turkish entities, organizations. Is that correct?
Yes, and certain U.S. entities who were also part of these espionage-related operations.